Hey everyone, and welcome to my first vehicle in-depth guide for the Cayo Perico Heist. Today we're going to be looking at the brand new Kosatka Submarine, going over all of its stats, the multiple weapons it has on board, and some strategies that you can use in free mode with it. So without further ado, let's start with its offense. It has three main weapons, those being the torpedoes, the periscope homing missiles, and the guided missiles that you can launch from the inside. First, let's discuss the periscope missiles. These bad boys have a lock-on range of 500 meters. For reference, against another popular vehicle, the Oppressor Mark II has a lock-on range of just 300 meters. It still doesn't come close to the 1000 meter lock-on range of the Charnabog, however. The missile tracking on the periscope is actually very good. The missiles themselves are a little slow, but they will continue to track the target. In this example, my friend JSM is on an Oppressor Mark II, and as I keep firing the missiles, they still continue to follow him through all the turns that he does, and he eventually gets hit by one. You do have to have a full lock-on to the vehicle that you're firing at, however. Unlike how regular vehicle missiles work, these cannot be free-aimed at all. Another thing to note, the periscope lock-on ignores the chaff countermeasure, which means if an Oppressor Mark II were to attack you, they would have to constantly be moving or else they will get hit eventually. Also, the periscope has a very high aim angle. If we go by what the UI on the periscope says, it looks like it can aim up to 85 degrees, which is far more than any other vehicle in the game. Even if the numbers in the UI don't correlate to aim angle, it still feels really high. And lastly, the damage on the missiles are the exact same as your average homing rockets. Next, let's move on to the torpedoes. These have a lock-on range of 230 meters. Typically, torpedoes do have a much shorter lock-on range than homing missiles do. And no, you cannot lock on to vehicles above water like you could with the Stromberg. These are strictly for attacking boats and submarines only, which is completely fine, considering you also have the periscope to use as well. And now for the exciting one, the brand new guided missiles, which we have never seen before in GTA Online. These of course have a max range of 4,000 meters, and just so you can see what that distance looks like visually, the distance between myself right now and the waypoint is around 4,000 meters. So the range is really good. These missiles do inflict more damage than their standard homing missile, and they also seem to have a lot more force to them, as you can see in this clip where my Night Shark gets knocked around after getting hit by one. Speaking of the Night Shark, it gets destroyed in just 4 of these missiles, which is crazy powerful when you consider the fact that the Night Shark can normally tank over 20 regular homing missiles. There is a 1-minute cooldown on the guided missiles, but it's kind of a yes but actually no situation because there's 2 seats, and the cooldown applies only to the one you fired, so if you're solo, you can just swap to the other seat and fire it without any cooldown. And then once that one blows up, the cooldown will be over for the first one, and then you just rinse and repeat, so there's no cooldown. Now for the armor. Unfortunately, it's really not that good, and not only that, but it's extremely inconsistent. In terms of homing rockets, one test we did, it took 20 homing rockets to blow it up. The next, it took 1 homing rocket to destroy, so it's a bit concerning that its armor seems to be bugged like the Avenger. And now that I think about it, they probably did reuse some of the code that the Avenger used because it's essentially the same type of vehicle, it's got an interior and it can be driven. When I did the armor test with RPGs, it took 8 to blow it up, so I'm just going to go ahead and assume that it's supposed to take 20 homing rockets or 8 RPGs to blow it up. At least that would make the most sense in my opinion. But aside from armor, the submarine also has another defensive mechanism, which is diving underwater. When you submerge the submarine completely, you will be off the radar to everyone on the map. The only way someone can see you on the map is if they have a sonar on either of the 3 submarine vehicles that were added in this new update. And if they do have a sonar active, you will show up on their map until they are 1,000 meters away from you. So the sonar has an active range of 1,000 meters where they can detect other people that are off the radar. To end off the video, I want to discuss some strategies and other perks that the Kosatka has. First, you can of course store the Sparrow and the Avista submersible in here, but you can also store the brand new Torpedoes or your Stromberg inside of the Moonpool storage that you can deploy right into the water, which is pretty neat. The Kosatka does have a fast travel system almost identical to the yacht. Initially, it's going to cost you $10,000 to move it, but if you complete the Cayo Perico Heist as a host, this will be brought down to only $2,000 to fast travel, which is very nice. Now for some combat strategies, if you are solo in the submarine, you want to do what I like to call the half submerged. You basically go below the surface to where only the periscope is sticking out of the water, and then you hold right on the D-pad to enter autopilot to force it to stop in that spot. And what this allows you to do is still have access to the periscope for some offense, but now your submarine is completely invisible to other players. Not off the radar invisible, but they cannot see what they're shooting at anymore. And if done right, if anyone tries to attack you with homing missiles, they're going to have a tough time hitting you. My friend JSM and I did a submarine battle with his sub fully surfaced while mine is mostly underwater, and his periscope missiles just cannot hit me because of my positioning. This also works as a defense against guided missiles. If you're fully surfaced, you're a sitting duck to guided missiles. But if you have submerged, you're not only harder to see from someone trying to control and hit you with a guided missile, but the explosion will not hit you depending on where they land the missile at. Of course, if you want to be completely immune from homing missiles and guided missiles alike, you can just completely submerge underwater, but the half submerged trick works wonders as well. It's really awesome. Another trick you can do to escape is to go underwater, put the sub in autopilot, and then while you're off the radar, fast travel somewhere far away before resurfacing the sub again. Now, if you have 2 players, you can really coordinate your attacks. Have one person in the driver's seat and one person on the missiles, and whenever you want to launch a missile, tell the driver to surface for a few seconds so you can launch that missile, and then go back down underwater to be off the radar and immune to other guided missiles. Unfortunately, you are not immune to the orbital cannon in the submarine, but if you are driving the submarine and get blown up, it will not give them the kill for it if you do get orbed. And that goes for getting blown up by anything in the submarine too. If you get blown up by rockets and you're driving it, they're not going to get the kill for it. It's just going to spawn you really far away, but they're not going to get the kill. Anyways, that is all you need to know about the Kosatka Submarine. If there are any tips that you guys have for this vehicle that I did not cover in this video, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. A huge thank you to my friend JSM for helping me out with the testing for this video. We still have a few more vehicles to cover. Next will probably be the submarine car because I really want to see what that's all about. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more Cayo Perico Heist content. Huge thank you to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.